The show can't start until we crack open a bottle of Revelton. Whether it's their crisp, clean vodka, the bold spice of their rye whiskey, the rich smoothness of bourbon, or the original honey whiskey that started it all, every pour is a taste of craft and passion straight from the heart of Iowa. So pour yourself a drink, settle in, and get ready to relax, laugh, and enjoy the show.
Hey, it's Andrew Downs. I'm proud to support Three Beards Media, and I would love to work with you. If you need merchandise for your company, organization, band, softball team, whatever, I can help. From name brand apparel to promotional items, large orders or small, online stores, and more, I can help your brand stand out. AKC Marketing is local, based in Johnston, and we are an employee-owned business, so our costs are low and our turnaround times are fast. But most importantly, we give you personal service to make sure you get exactly what you're looking for. Email me at andrew@akcmarketing.com or find me on social media, and let's make some cool stuff together. Now sit back and enjoy this Three Beards Media podcast.
All right, good evening. Welcome back to another edition of Locks and Longshots. Andrew Barber, glad to be here with you. We're going to keep it short and keep it simple tonight, especially when it comes to college football. We went 1-5 last week. We won't go over that too much. It was just a bad week. My reads were off. I apologize to all of you, but we will figure it out here as we go forward. I'd like to start by diving in and saying I'm going to bet on two teams that I said I was done with this week, and two of them are underdogs. Kansas State plus 7.5 against Texas Tech. I think a little bit of the shine has worn off the Red Raiders. And Kansas State, we saw them just go on the road against Kansas and totally demolish and dismantle them as an underdog. Avery Johnson's become more impressive after the early season struggles. Chris Kleiman has really righted the ship, and they're playing their best football at the right time, and that's where you want to be in November, playing your best football. The Wildcats are there. So I'm going to ride with them, plus 7.5. I'm going to ride with my rival team here, Iowa State, the Cyclones. They're hosting the Arizona State Sun Devils in a game that kicks off at noon. That's an advantage for Iowa State because that's 10 a.m. Arizona time, I believe. Also, Arizona State, no Sam Leavitt to speak of. Jordan Tyson didn't play, their star receiver. And if neither of those guys are playing in this one, or even if Tyson's playing, Sam Leavitt is still not. I believe Jeff Sims, who started his career at Georgia Tech and then went to Nebraska and was a colossal failure there, is now the starting quarterback for the Arizona State Sun Devils this week. I can't seem to get on the right side of Arizona State. I've backed them twice in the past 3 weeks, and each time they've let me down. So I got to go against them again here in this spot with Iowa State minus 7.5. Next, I'm going to look at a team who had a lot of preseason expectations. The wheels have fallen off. They fired James Franklin. They have an interim coach, Terry Smith, right now, who's doing his best, and things are not going to be easy for them this Saturday. They go on the road to the Horseshoe and play number 1 Ohio State, who's on an absolute roll, looks every bit the part of a team that could go back-to-back. I'm not saying that they will, because I think Indiana and some other teams will have a lot to say about that. But Ohio State's 20.5-point favorites. I think there's enough pride here still for the Nittany Lions and enough talent, especially with the running game being what it is between Singleton and Katron Allen, I hope that Penn State can really grind this game like they did against an Iowa and keep this thing somewhat close. I'm going to take Penn State on the plus 20.5 side. I don't love doing it. I do not like any of the three bets that I just put out to all of you here. I feel funny backing some of these teams, but I also just have a gut feeling that all three of these are going to hit. So I'd like to have a nice 3-0 week and get back on the right track in college football. And I think those are the ones to back and are going to do it for me. I'm going to go a little bit heavy on the NFL this week, and we're going to back good teams and we're going to back good quarterbacks here. I'd like to start things off with Thursday night. I don't typically bet Thursday night, but Lamar Jackson is back for the Ravens, and they need him back. It couldn't be at a better time for them. They're somehow the favorites to win the division in the AFC North. It's because the Bengals and the Steelers just can't reach out and grab what's right in front of them. Even with the Ravens at 2-5, they're projected to come back, and Lamar is going to be a big part of that. That's why I'm going to take Lamar Jackson to score a touchdown on Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins. Not going to play the spread or the total here, just like Lamar finding his way into the end zone against that Dolphins defense. I'm going to back another AFC East team here. And it's one that is on absolute fire. They're 6-2, and Mike Vrabel's probably going to win Coach of the Year. And Drake May's trying to play his way into the MVP race. Maybe he could win it. We'll see. But they're 5.5-point favorites over the Atlanta Falcons, who are at 3-4. Michael Penix didn't play last week. Their game was an absolute disaster against the Dolphins. They got blown out by 24 points at home. They couldn't do anything on offense, and they were just getting shredded. Now they have to go on the road to a New England team that is fired up, and looking at their schedule for the Patriots, it's very favorable to them to end up winning the division. Potentially, it's going to come down to them and the Bills for sure. And I want to back the Patriots in this game against a Falcons team who could not be in a worse spot right now. I'm not sure if Penix is going to play. I think Drake London's back. Penix may be back. It doesn't matter. Patriots are 5.5-point favorites. I'm going to take them to cover that all day. I'm going to take Drake May to have another good game. I'm going to take the over on his passing yards and the over on his passing touchdowns. If you haven't had a chance to watch Drake May this year, do it. He's been sensational. I'm going to back the Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings. Carson Wentz just went out for the year with an injury. And also, J.J. McCarthy has been struggling through an injury / maybe, if we're being honest, the Vikings benched J.J. McCarthy, and for good reason. He's not a good NFL quarterback at this point in time. They're only 8.5-point favorites, the Lions. I think that's giving a little bit too much respect to Minnesota and probably their defense. Again, Lions team is on fire. Jared Goff, everybody on offense, Jahmyr Gibbs, they're rolling. Amon-Ra. Let me take them to keep on rolling. I think they've figured out the defense as well. Lions minus 8.5. And I mentioned this last week. Dallas Cowboys over-unders just going to be an overplay for me every week. Last week, they didn't have the best performance on offense, but they gave up 44 points to the Broncos, scored 24 themselves. Some of that was late, but 68 total points in an NFL game is a lot. The over-under on a Monday night against the Arizona Cardinals is 53.5. I think these two teams are capable of breaking it. I do think that Dak Prescott's going to have a bounce back game. It was a rough outing for him against Denver on Sunday. So I'm going to take him for over on the passing yards, over on the passing touchdowns. And that is where we are going to sit for the NFL week. Just to recap last week too, we hit that over for Cowboys Broncos. Bengals minus 6.5 did not hit. The Bengals actually lost outright to the Jets for their first win of the season. That was an awesome moment for the Jets, though, after the death of Nick Mangold. So I can't be mad at the Bengals for that, allowing the Jets to win that game. Awesome moment for the Jets organization. I did have Lamar Jackson anytime TD, but he was sort of a late scratch. There was some controversy there with his status. So I won one, lost one, and pushed one last week, Sunday. Going a little bit higher and heavier this week by putting in 8 bets. A lot of those being player props. But I'm confident in my reads for this week in the NFL. And then let's flip to UFC. It was an Abu Dhabi card, and that was interesting to me in mid-afternoon. It kind of overlapped with the Iowa game, the Iowa State game. Found myself at the local Buffalo Wild Wings. That's the best place for right now to watch the UFC pay-per-views. I had Rakic money line. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Volkov in a very controversial split decision, winning that one. I had Nurmagomedov by points. It went to points. I did have Rakic, as I mentioned. He got TKO'd. And then what was supposed to be the fight of the night ended up being a no contest due to the eye poke there by Cyril Gahn against Tom Aspinall. So I had Aspinall money line. I thought he would defend his title, but they had to call the fight. The doctor had to call the fight because Aspinall could not continue after being poked. I had Mackenzie Dern money line. She defended her title against Yonderoba. So decent outing for me. I went 3-1-1 with the push there on the Aspinall fight, bringing me to a 5-2-1 record overall in the UFC. I love taking a chance on some UFC bets. It doesn't always work out, and it wasn't the most electric card on this past Saturday, but again, love watching UFC. If you've never watched a fight night pay-per-view event before, highly encourage that you do so. November 15th is the next one. I'll again be at my local B-Dubs if you want to join me. But 2 title fights on the line in that one that we'll kind of look forward to. Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, Valentina Shevchenko against Zhang Weili. Then you also will have Bo Nickel and Leon Edwards to kind of round out the pay-per-view card. Sean Brady as well, but I would say Bo Nickel and Leon Edwards, who are both trying to get back on the right track and get in the win column before this year ends and we flip the calendar to 2026. And we can look forward to the UFC on Paramount in 2026, which, yes, I am heavily looking forward to that because it will not involve buying the pay-per-view or camping out at Buffalo Wild Wings for 4 hours to watch the fights. So thankful for that shift there by Dana White and the boys. But I'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit of NBA action now that that season has kicked off, and maybe, just maybe, get you primed for some college basketball as well.
Making great tasting bourbon requires the perfect combination of ingredients, conditions, and time. The longer it rests, the better it tastes. Revelton Distillery's new single barrel bourbon is made from 80% corn, sourced 100% from Iowa farmers. And unlike mass-produced bourbons, each barrel of Revelton's single barrel bourbon is unique, proofed on when it tastes best. As they like to say, it'll be ready when it's ready. And to ensure the highest standards of quality and flavor, owners Rob and Christy Taylor oversee the production and bottling. Every single barrel. Iowa born, Iowa aged, Iowa bottled. Try the new single barrel bourbon from Iowa's own Revelton Distillery. ReveltonDistillery.com.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
All right, welcome back. And I want to finish off the show by talking NBA and then a little splash of college basketball on the end there. Take a look at the NBA bets that I handed out. I gave you 3 days in a row of bets, and on the 23rd, so that was, I believe, the opening night of the NBA, or the second night. Yeah, the third night. Yeah. But 2 games that night, and went 3-1, barely missing the Jokic over of 49.5 points, rebounds, and assists, but hit both of the Ben Mathurin overs. Unfortunately, Ben Mathurin is injured now, so we can't look at him as we go forward this week, but Jokic commanded a triple-double as well. Then we went Şengün, points, rebounds, and assists. He barely missed that. Gobert, points and rebounds. Not enough points out of Rudy Gobert on a Friday night to hit that one. Wemby steals plus blocks. That was a nice little bet there. He had 9 blocks and 1 steal. A sensational game for him. He has been awesome. Wemby has been an absolute revelation, and I'm going to be looking at him a lot more as we kind of go along in the season. I think he's going to play his way into that MVP conversation, and the Spurs are going to be a team that I don't think a lot of casual basketball fans saw coming. I certainly could see this building. They're good. They're deep. Castle and Dylan Harper have been sensational as well. So I have thoroughly enjoyed watching San Antonio Spurs basketball, and we'll look for some good betting opportunities on them here. Anthony Edwards over points. Ant-Man had been on fire. Unfortunately, hamstring injury for him, so we can't keep going back to the well there. Cooper Flag, points, rebounds, and assists, one of his better games. He's struggled a little bit at times this season. Look for him to kind of get right as we get into maybe December or January. He'll get a little bit more consistency there. But love what I've seen out of Cooper Flag early on. And then on Saturday, this guy has been a money printer for me. I only gave it out to you one time, but every time the Charlotte Hornets play basketball this season, I'm betting on Con Knipple to go over his points and over his three-pointers made. This Hornets team plays fast and free, and they jack up a lot of threes. And with Brandon Miller out now with an injury, Con's going to get even more opportunities to shoot. They're going to put the ball in his hands a lot more when it's not in LaMelo's hands. LaMelo's always looking for Con as well. He's known as a knockdown shooter, and he's proven that he can do that. But he's also shown that he can make plays off of the bounce too. So Con can nipple over points and over three-pointers made on Saturday. Jokic hit another triple-double, but just missed the points, rebounds, and assists. I'm going to just make that a point of emphasis. Every time Jokic plays, you can just count it. Jokic points, rebounds, and assists. Jokic triple-double, going to be on the board for me. And you can almost count on Con Knipple and a few other players that we'll talk about as we go forward. But 9-6 through 3 days there overall in the NBA, not too bad. I'd like to keep the train rolling here. So as we look forward to Thursday, the 30th, I'm going to give you Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, just kind of the way that I'm leaning on all 3 of those days. But Giannis on Thursday night against the Bucks on NBA TV, I believe is going to put on a show. He has to carry everything for Milwaukee, especially with no Dame Lillard or really any other playmakers to speak of. He's been doing it all. He's going to keep doing it all. Giannis points, rebounds, assists over. And then the aforementioned Con Knipple, just going to take his over three-pointers made and his over on his points. Until he proves me wrong, I know it's not going to hit every single time. There's going to be nights where it's just not his night, but until it isn't, I'm going to keep riding that train over and over. Going to go a little bit off the radar, and the 5-0 Thunder are at home against the 1-3 Wizards. AJ Mitchell, if you haven't watched the Thunder game with Jalen Williams out, Cason Wallace and or Aaron Wiggins being out periodically too, and just needing to take off some of that load from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder have turned to AJ Mitchell a lot more. And so I like his over points on Thursday night. And then the aforementioned Wemby in action against the Spurs. Points, rebounds, and assists for Wemby over. I don't even know what to say at this point. This dude he's taking basketball to another level, an unbelievable level. So give me Wemby on Thursday night. And then as I mentioned before, every time Jokic plays, I'm going to be betting on Nikola Jokic. I love betting on Nikola Jokic. I love watching him play. It's almost like a religious experience every time I watch him play basketball. He just does it the right way. So Jokic points, rebounds, assists over. Jokic triple-double. Take it to the bank every single time. Another team that has been struggling in the early season is the Boston Celtics. But someone who has not been struggling to score the ball is Jaylen Brown. Give me Jaylen Brown over points. Devin Booker over points. Again, there's nobody left in Phoenix's world after Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal departed. Jalen Green's been in and out of the lineup. Booker's been on a tear. He has to be to even give the Suns a chance in any game that they're playing. Give me the over points. Another guy that has to put up now because of the Luka Doncic injury and also the LeBron James injury, and he has in a big way, is Austin Reeves. He has been lighting the world on fire, and he's going to continue to do so. It's NBA Cup group play on Friday night, so that's another factor in my calculation here is you're going to have a few guys that might play a few more minutes because teams are going to take this NBA Cup seriously. There is a prize involved in winning the NBA Cup. So you're going to see some of these starters play a few more minutes. So Austin Reeves over points. Another guy that's been incredible this season is Tyrese Maxey. he's been awesome and consistent as a three-point shooter as well. He's shooting a lot of them. Give me the over on Maxi's three-pointers made and the over on his points. Speaking of good three-point shooters, we're going to go to the Steph Curry well for the first time this season on Saturday night. We're going to take his over points and his over three-pointers made. He plays on Thursday. He gets the night off on Friday. So that's good. And they're playing the Pacers. It's on NBA TV. Get the sense that Steph will want to put on a little bit of a show. Also, LaMelo, the Hornets are on. So I'm going to take a chance on LaMelo Ball having a good game against the Wolves with points, rebounds, and assists. And then we're also going to bank on that man that I've talked about so much, Con Knippel, the rookie. He is going to be a money printer for us until the machine stops. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Also want to take a little bit of a flyer on a guy who's shown a lot of improvement as well. And that is Kaishan George of the Washington Wizards. He's been starting, but really playing under control and has elevated himself as a scorer. Give me Kaishan George over points on Saturday night as well. A lot of picks flying at you fast and furious there in the NBA. Also want to just touch briefly on college basketball because that tips off on November 3rd. Field of 68 has their all-day marathon that you can watch on YouTube. You also have Florida, Arizona on TNT at 6 p.m. I think there's maybe another game, Villanova, BYU on TNT right after that Arizona-Florida game. Arizona-Florida, probably the highlight of the night there. I don't have any lines out yet on these games because I think we're just a tad too far out. I would probably lean back in Florida and BYU on those major games, but I'll be looking for some value on some of those mid or low major teams as the season wears on. So I will have college basketball picks for all of you. I just think I'm a little bit too early on the lines right now, and we'll do it in kind of a similar fashion as what we do with the NBA, where I give you college basketball picks a couple days at a time, couple days in advance, and yeah, you can take it or leave it. So it's a great time where we have football at both levels and basketball at both levels, all at our fingertips. Wonderful time of the year. I love it. But thank you for listening. Appreciate you all, as always. Have a great night and come back next week for another episode of Locks and Longshots.